Today's Tuesday's tip is all about using both the brush and the sponge in concert with one another. We do this in many of our art classes, and you may have seen it in some of our videos. This is a quick demonstration to show you how these two objects together can work in harmony with each other to create all different kinds of aspects of our paintings. Let's talk about it and show you for today's Tuesday's tip. I just placed some basic color onto the tip of the sponge, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a little bit of a rolling hill here. And you can see, because I've utilized the sponge, I have been able to create a nice hard edge because of the way I pushed down on the edge of the sponge. Not always are we able to create the edge that we want with the sponge by itself. Sometimes when we use the sponge, we're not creating exactly what we want, and we get what I call a ghosting image. You can kind of see it here. It's not always the most helpful. The way to avoid that is again to use both the brush and the sponge in concert with each other. What I'm doing now is I loaded the brush with some basic color, and I'll go ahead and I'll put in a rolling landscape. And you can see that I can even come back and change the shape of that as I need. Now, with the sponge, I can simply pull across the bottom half of that edge, and you can see now I have a nice, clean, stark edge that's here that is created because I used both the brush and the sponge. There are other times in our paintings where we want to create a cliff on one side, and the sponge just will not create that cliff. In order to do that, again, we're going to use a combination of the brush and the sponge together. I'll go ahead and I'll create my cliff over here on this side of the painting. I'll use the brush to give me a feel for that. You can see how I can create this as a different shape that I might not be able to normally create with just the sponge. Once I have the basic shape for the cliff that I'm looking for, now I can use the sponge and pat in and fill in this other area. This is another way where we can use both the sponge and the brush in concert with each other to create hard line areas and soft line areas that fade away, both for the landscape in the background and for the cliffside in the foreground. This is today's Tuesday's tip. We hope that it has been helpful for you.